So here's my thing. Watching the trailer, there seems to be a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
And I watched some breakdown videos of trailers, and maybe I messed up by watching breakdown videos because they're going through Easter eggs and stuff like that. But I feel like this is way too big. And maybe I'm just missing it. I haven't been plugged in a long time, so maybe I'm just like missing. But even when we had the Avengers and the Infinity Wars and Endgames and all that stuff, there was a lot of moving pieces, but it all felt very contained to like, this is the main thread we're following. Whereas we're bringing in all these different Earths that are colliding, and then you get the X-Men over here, and then you have people from different Disney Plus shows coming over here. So I'm like, things that happen in different things referencing to the main one. It almost seems like I'm wondering. I know we've been doing comic movies for years.
Yeah.
But comic books to me have this way of being very, very convoluted. But that's just how they are.
Yeah.
And you have issues to build, like multiple issues to continue to build. And it's for me, it's like one thing when you're reading something and it's very convoluted. Think about like when you read a book and it transcribes into a movie and it take it into a movie. They're always stripped down.
Yeah.
So I'm like, are y'all gonna be stripped down? Or because this off the trailer, it just seems like there's a lot going on. And I'm like, I feel like it almost seems like this is probably gonna be the most comic book movie there ever was.
Yeah.
But it might be too much. So that's what I'm wondering. Like, is this gonna be another what's the movie? Watchmen.
Yeah.
Where it was like, I feel like most comic book fans was like, oh, this is dope. You just took it from that and we just but how successful was Watchmen really? Like, did it really translate to movie form?
Well, he literally translated by doing just shit
But
shot for shot. But
like,
you know, people did have issues with it
right.
who weren't super fans of Watchmen.
Yeah. So I guess like, if you're a hardcore comic fan.
So you're saying this went full comic book.
That's the impression.
And he shouldn't go full comic book.
You can do it. But my thought process is Marvel to me is too big to do that because you have to get sales. So you have to make so many sales and tickets to make your money back. So from a business standpoint, that's usually why big corporations, stuff like that, keep things simple.
Well, it's interesting that you say this because when you look at the final shots of Endgame and all those heroes out there, that feels like full comic book.
Well, I think too. Well, for me, that's just the action scene. That's like plugging in any movie that has action. It's just stuff that's happening. I'm talking specifically storyline. Like
so you feel like when we got into Infinity War, the story was still streamlined.
I feel like that movie just was just going. It's just like we're here, boom, boom, boom. We're just going. We have this one thing that we're working on. There was other stuff happening, but everybody was kind of hopping on the train and just beelining to the end of the movie.
So the plot of that was the Infinity Stones.
Right.
Okay. And there was a central protagonist of that movie, which in a weird way was Thanos.
Right.
It was basically his movie. So in a sense, it was a brand new movie with a brand new character. I mean, you had seen Thanos before, but there had been some lead up, but it was like, okay, we're getting into his head now. So we're starting with Thanos. He's on a quest for the Infinity Stones. The Infinity Stones have been built up over the course of all these movies.
Right.
So anybody who watched at least a quarter of the Marvel movies leading up to Infinity War are familiar with these stones.
Yeah.
You know, let's say you didn't watch Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's like, okay, well, that's another stone. Okay. So all these characters is all one plot. We're after the Infinity Stones. It's very simple.
Right, yeah.
And the extra complexities come from people who did watch every movie or who do know more of the backstory of Marvel, but you don't need that.
Yeah.
You could theoretically just come in with this new character Thanos, having never watched any Marvel movies, and potentially, I don't know how much you would, but potentially enjoy Infinity War because it's just, okay, and then Endgame was a sequel of Infinity War.
Right.
You know? So you're saying, but you think with Doomsday,
that's just
we
so
don't have
much.
that.
It just seems that way because like there's so many, everything that's coming in has a complexity within itself. X-Men, if you watch any X-Men movie, you know X-Men just is convoluted.
Yeah.
Because X-Men itself has so many different alternate versions.
Well, I'm saying, I don't know what version of
but that's
Charles
the thing too.
and Magneto we're looking at. There was a Charles that appeared in the MCU in Deadpool Wolverine. He's dead. So who is this Charles? Is this the one?
So, right, yeah.
I don't know who this is. You know?
So it's just, I'm basically coming in as a casual viewer at this point because I've not been keeping up with since Endgame. Really, I have not really kept up with a lot of the other Marvel stuff. So I'm just thinking from a commercial standpoint. I'm not saying that fans who are hardcore in the comics will enjoy this. I'm just like, are they gonna be able to pull this off?
It's just a matter of will they be able to execute,
right? And will it translate to people who are more casual view? Like, is it going to like if this was some like little indie film?
Yeah.
Like, okay, oh cool. I'm just like, how y'all actually going? If this is as convoluted as it's coming off to me from this trailer, how are y'all gonna pull this off?
Well, I think there's something to what you're saying. Whether or not they're able to pull it off, I think they got a lot more working against them than just that. But there isn't as clean a storyline coming into it. Like, this is just about the Infinity Stones.
Right. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah. You don't know what this is about. Yeah. Now, I'm fairly certain because I know Secret War is coming next.
Okay.
This is about the incursions. But no movie
has mentioned
touched on the incursions.
Okay. So yeah.
No movie touched on the incursions. And someone's right now saying, yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. No, they didn't. In the post-credit scenes for Doctor Strange, they dropped the idea of an incursion. But Doctor Strange wasn't even in this trailer. I'm not saying that in the movie, but like they didn't even bring him in to be the one talking about incursion. In this first trailer, they didn't even bother to bring up what the threat is. And maybe it's not incursion, maybe something else. But I think there's something to be said to that. And granted, it's the first trailer. We're going to get another trailer. We're going to see Robert Downey Jr.'s face, I'm sure. Just to make sure we sell the tickets. This is probably just a test of waters. But if you look at the vignette trailers that came before, the one with Steve, they're really just playing on, it's about Super Smash Bros. Everyone is here.
Okay.
It's just the idea of everyone is here, and it's the Russo brothers. It's like even from behind the camera, everyone is here, and trust us, this is going to be good. It doesn't matter what the plot is.
Right.
We got Robert Downey Jr., we got Chris Evans, we got Chris Hemsworth, we got the Russo brothers. The reveal where they were showing all the names when they had that real super long live stream and everything. Like, it's just everyone is here. That's what makes you want to come see it. So I think what they're pushing is the plot doesn't actually matter.
Okay.
And I think the reason why I think this could work is because, and this may throw people the wrong way, but that's what I felt about Endgame. The plot didn't really matter in Endgame. I wasn't a huge fan of the plot line of Endgame. But it was almost just a victory lap. Like, we're just here to wrap up the loose ends and to send these characters off to the sunset. And so Doomsday, I think, is kind of going to have to try to capitalize on that same mentality. Trust us, it's going to be good. We got Chris Evans back. We got Robert Downey Jr. back. Russo brothers haven't failed yet with a Marvel movie. This is going to be good. Just show up. The plot doesn't matter. All that matters is that everyone is here.
So basically, you're saying this is more that this could be them selling the blockbuster movie, summer movie experience type vibe, where it's like we're just going to the movies to go to the movies.
Well, here's the thing: the Russo brothers also said that they're going to re-release Endgame in theaters. They're adding a little bit more footage.
Oh, interesting.
And I think I've heard them said that this is like a sequel to Endgame.
What they're releasing? Oh, this
Doomsday
is
it's like that's why they release a movie to kind of get you caught, because like they're just Russo brothers haven't been here for all this. I don't think they care. I think they're using the characters that are available. Fantastic Four, Black Panther, we'll throw the X-Men in there. We touched on that. Some of these the X-Men might not even be in the movie for that long, because the mutant saga is supposed to be coming next, assuming that's where Kevin Feige still goes. So they're going to recast all these roles. So it's more there just to maybe a few people that will buy tickets, because it seemed to work well for Deadpool, Wolverine. That movie did make a lot of money. We put them in the Doctor Strange movie. Nobody seemed to be that put off. So let's just do it. But I think the Russo brothers are using what they've got, but really they're just doing a follow-up to Endgame. That's why Robert Downey Jr. is in the role of Doom. I hate the idea of Doom being wasted in a sense, because the idea of what you could have done with building up Fantastic Four and Doom as their villain, but he's going to be Steve's villain. He's going to be Spider-Man's villain, because it's Robert Downey Jr. behind a mask, and they're going to see his face, and they're going to be like, Tony? So this is really just a sequel to the last thing that happened. So I think that's what the movie they're making. And so this is really going to appeal more to the fans who, like you, who tuned out after Endgame. They're bringing those fans back in. And then the Russo brothers walk away again and say, okay, don't mess it up this time. Don't mess it up this time. Don't put 15 things on Disney Plus. Let's talk about that next. But, to get it right this time. I think they're trying to like bring it back in. And then let's try it again. Like we experimented after Endgame. Overall, it was middling. Now let's pull it back together. And now let's see if you can have this as a good launching off point. But like you're saying, can it work? Will it work? I think it's going to be less convoluted than it looks. I think these are the characters they have. We're touching different things. but it's not going to matter. You're going to get 5 minutes with the X-Men, you know.
Okay.
And a lot of characters are going to get killed off probably, but it's really just going to be a character study of like Steve versus Tony. You know,
again.
probably. It's probably what it's going to be.
Okay.
And Thor.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's transition to the next part. Nat being caught up. So part of why you feel the way you feel, maybe because you have not kept up with every piece of content.
Yeah.
And I don't blame you. I've got to do more content, but more than you, but still not all of it.
I don't think I'm trying to think if I've seen anything, and I don't know. I think the only thing maybe She-Hulk.
But you know what? Wow, that's terrible. That's the worst thing you could have. But what's funny is, you bring up the comics thing. This is an issue people have with event comics.
Okay.
Because they're like, how many different storylines do I got to read to understand this? Or how many, sometimes they'll be an event comic and then they'll have all these little things going parallel. So do I got to read all this to understand the main story? And it's like, no, you can just read the 6 issues of the main event, but this gives extra information. It's like, that's just the issue. And so I feel like that's kind of what happened here. It's just all those parallel things happened before.
Okay.
And that's why I think the Russo brothers are not really going to concern themselves with, I mean, I'm sure they have, but are you really going to require Russo brothers to go and watch every show and try to bring your piece in? You're probably going to be like, look, we're just going to focus on what we want to focus on and leave everything else by the wayside. We're just going to focus on what we want to focus on. And that's this character battle between Steve and Thor, and I'm sure Spider-Man will be in there, and Tony. And that's what we're going to focus on here. That's probably what they're going to do. So I don't think it's going to matter that you missed a lot. I did watch WandaVision. I did watch
I watched that.
the Daredevil Born Again. I did watch the Punisher one shot. I didn't watch Moon Knight. I didn't watch Agatha. I didn't watch Ironheart. I did watch Secret Invasion. And so it's kind of like, I doubt Secret Invasion is going to matter at all. Nick Fury is not even in the movie. But then again, did they have his name? He might have popped up. But anyway, I didn't see the Marvels movie. I didn't see that. I did see Ant-Man Quantumania, but that's going to have no effect because Kang is not in it. So it's like, it's almost one of the things of like, you're right, it is very much a combo. Because like, I read all these issues. Oh, sorry, that character's not even going to show up. It's not going to matter. Well, reward me for reading this. Well, at the same time, we may alienate the people who didn't read it. So I think the Russo brothers got to walk that line of, they really just got to dump it all and be like, you don't need to have seen anything. If the last thing you saw was Endgame, you're good. Come watch this.
That's interesting. That's such a gap, though. It
is.
What? When did Endgame come out? Like 2018-ish?
Let me look that up. I think Infinity War feels like 2019?
Maybe, it probably was like 2019.
Yeah, 2019. Oh, they got it right before COVID.
So, I would have ended it probably. Yeah. So that's like, that's a while. That's like what, 6?
Because that was 2019. We're 2026. So 7 years.
So and like you just now we're just here. So that's a lot. That does also say, I guess, if they can just skip like that, everything wasn't that important, I guess.
And that's the problem. Like Fantastic Four ended with them still on their own Earth. It didn't end with them coming over to this Earth.
Okay.
Thunderbolts would make you think that it did, because when you watch Thunderbolts, it ended with you seeing the Fantastic Four ship coming in. So you thought, but then you watch Fantastic Four, that's not how it ended. It ended with Doom showing up and like interacting with their son, Franklin Richards. But they didn't show his face. So it's kind of like this. It's like everybody kept teasing stuff, but no one really knew where this was going.
Right.
You know, Doctor Strange came out so long ago, but if indeed the plot is the incursions of planets running into each other, that is probably the most relevant. But again, that was the last. The entire movie had nothing to do with that. It was just the ending of that movie. Clea shows up and says the word incursions, and then that's it. But like nothing else happens. I mean, honestly, this goes all the way back to Shang-Chi. At the very end of that, it was his rings were sending some signal to something out in the multiverse, and they didn't know what it was.
Good Lord.
At the time, I'm sure it was Kang related. They're probably going to rewrite that and make it something else. We haven't seen that dude in a long time. So it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, that's wild.
So that's the thing that's working against them, is that these characters, you have not seen some of them in a long time. And it just, you had opportunity for like lots of sequels with the first run and the first few phases, so that you had seen everybody multiple times. There's a few exceptions. You only saw Doctor Strange once, but you got to see a lot of these people multiple times before we got Infinity War.
Right, right.
And get established with them. But we only got one Shang-Chi film. You know, I mean, you can't help this, but you only got one run with her as Black Panther, being the Black Panther, Shuri and everything.
Yeah.
And so it's just, it's weird. It's a weird situation. Fantastic Four, same thing, only one movie.
Right.
Thunderbolt, same thing, but you just work with what you got.
Had a chance to like kind of be with these characters as long as like we were with the other ones. You had all the Thor movies, all the Iron Man movies, and you know.
I mean, even with Thor, and we can get into Thor next if you're ready to talk about this. But we only got one Thor movie since Endgame. Coming out of here. Wasn't that good? Pretty bad actually. But
so you're not talking about
Love and Thunder.
Yeah, I didn't watch that.
Yeah. You didn't miss anything, and it will not be relevant to this movie. Unless the plot line is Doom is taking the kids. That's one people's thing. They're taking some of the kids who are relevant to this stuff and trying to do something with them. I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, Thor is interesting because Thor has so many personality changes over the years, right? And when they first made him kind of comedic in Ragnarok, that was actually good because the Thor movies were kind of boring in a sense. I like the first Thor, second Thor wasn't good. Him being straight-laced just wasn't really working. It worked at Ragnarok. It went too far in Love and Thunder, and it was just bad. But if you remember, Infinity War, he wasn't that funny. He was pretty serious. I mean, his brother just died.
Yeah.
There was a little more comedy with him in Endgame, but it was also because he was like depressed and stuff like that. Right. Then it was what it was. But this feels like we're looking at, even from his costume, Infinity War Thor. That's who it looks like we're looking at in this show.
Okay.
That's what it feels like anyway. So that's probably one of my favorite Thors.
Come off more serious.
Anything too, I mean, he looks powerful and all stuff, got the axe and all that kind of stuff. So and that was one of my favorite Thors, Infinity War Thor. It just felt kind of the perfect way to do him. Like extremely powerful, serious, not without humor, but but also at the end of the end of the joke, like he was kind of in Endgame. So it's like the Russo brothers selected the Thor that's probably the most popular. It's like, we're going to pick this Thor. We're going to cherry pick him out, and he's going to be the Thor we're going to use for this movie.
Look, we might have to get Chris Hemsworth some props for having some range with this.
He's played
the same character in all his different ways.
What's hilarious is we've only ever got one Thor in the multiverse. Like we've had multiverse characters of different versions of people.
Yeah.
But he's played a lot of different versions of Thor, it feels like.
Thor,
so,
right. There's like nobody else can be Thor but him.
But I'm interested to see. Like, he's probably, finding out what's going on with him is probably got me the most interested. I have very little interest in this movie. I want to see it just because I want to know what they're going to do. I want to know if it will succeed or not. But I'm not excited for it. It's not like, oh my gosh, this is mandatory cinema. I need to see this. No, it's like, okay, if I missed it, I wouldn't be that mad.
Right.
I would wait for Disney Plus. But I am curious to see what's going on with Thor. It's kind of weird having him as like the veteran and like the guy that's kind of collecting everybody and pointing them where they got to go. Like he's like the leader in this scenario until Steve comes back, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, but I feel like Steve's not gonna really try to be like a leader role, but we'll see because he did like snatch the hammer from him. I mean, called it whatever. So we'll see.
I just feel like this is also not a vote of confidence in Sam Wilson as Captain America.
You got to put him in there because this is his first movie as Captain America, isn't it?
No, he had a Captain America movie, Brave New World.
Yes. Oh, I forgot. I'm doing the show, but I completely forgot about that movie.
Yeah, it's a forgettable movie.
Okay, well,
it's a forgettable movie. And that's the problem. We keep and everything like the fact that you haven't seen this is kind of a lot of stuff is kind of the point. Some people say, well, if you had seen it, then you would care more. I saw Captain America Brave New World. I still don't care. Yeah. Like it's you should be excited if you didn't see those movies, and you should be excited if you did see those movies. I saw those movies. I'm not excited. Yeah. You didn't see those movies. You're curious, but you're not terribly excited like you were maybe for Infinity War.
I guess we will see.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you guys have any, you guys can leave a comment. We have the link below for the Ko-fi.
Yeah. If you have a suggestion, if you just want to send us a tip because we did such a great job in this video, thank you. But if you have a suggestion for us for a video topic, you can submit and do a tip to actually get us to make a video on something as soon as nothing crazy or not safe for work or something like that. We don't do that here. But go ahead and drop that if you like. That's in the comments. So hope you like it. See you next time.
Peace.